Welcome to today's Crosspoint Devotion. Today we're going to go to the book of Psalms. We're going to go to chapter 5. And what we're going to find there is that many times as we try to follow the Lord, there will be instances where we will experience evil. We might even have people who are opposed to us, or maybe they try to do things that are mean-spirited toward us. And Psalm 5 is about learning how to take refuge in the Lord. When those difficult days come and when people are against us or we feel like we're being persecuted for being faithful and trying to live the righteous life, we can always run to the Lord in those moments and He becomes a refuge. Well, as you move through that text, and I'll encourage you to read Psalm 5 for yourself, I would love for you to focus in on verse 11. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them shout for joy forever. May you shelter them, and may those who love you boast about you. I want to talk a little bit about boasting in the Lord. Now, you're going to find your refuge in the Lord, but when you do, that gives you the opportunity to boast about Him. Think back to your childhood. Were there people in your life when you were a child who would often boast and brag on you? If there weren't any other people who were bragging on you, I can almost assure you your grandparents were bragging on you regularly. If you got good grades, your parents may have had you call them or maybe go by and see them after you received your report card. And when your grandparents opened up that report card and it had all A's, they bragged on you. They told you what a great job you had done. And they would even tell their neighbors and their friends and people they went to church with, I love my grandchild because he or she is a great student and he or she made all A's on their report card. And so your grandparents love to brag on you. Maybe you had a coach somewhere along the way when you were playing soccer or baseball or basketball or football, and you did some good things while you were at practice and maybe did some even better things when you were in the game, and your coach would brag on you after the game and say, man, you did a great job. I'm so glad that you're on my team. We all enjoy having people brag on us. Maybe it was on your wedding day when you walked down the aisle and you were the groom and people said, I've never seen you look so handsome. You clean up good. They were bragging on you because most of the time you look kind of greasy, oily, and a little bit dirty. But on your wedding day, you look good enough for people to brag on you. Do you know that sometimes God would want us, as we're taking refuge in Him, to just brag on Him? Have you done that lately? Have you taken a few moments in your life when God has rescued you, when He's sheltered you, when He's given you strength for a difficult day? Have you bragged on God? Let me go back to verse 11 and read it again. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them shout for joy forever. May you shelter them, and may those who love your name boast about you. Whenever God shelters us and He gives us refuge and He gives us safety in the moments when we are in danger, one of the things we can do in response to thank God is just to praise His name, to honor Him with our brags and our boast. We can say about God, God, you are my strength. God, you are the one who has sheltered me in this moment when I didn't know where I was going to find refuge. God, you're so graceful to me when I don't deserve it. God, you're so merciful to me. We often, as believers, we want God to give us the blessings of His favor, but we don't often in return bless His name and boast and brag about Him. Maybe that's why our world isn't very interested in the God that we serve, is because we don't talk very highly of Him. And so this week I want to encourage you, as you find your refuge and your shelter and your security in God, would you allow that to be a moment where you turn around and begin to brag about God to the world so that they might know He's a good God, He's a gracious God, He's a protecting God, He's a strong God. And the world, as they begin to hear us brag about God, they may actually be drawn to that same God so that they can come to know Him through Jesus Christ, our Savior. So this week our goal is, let's go brag about God. He's so good. He's worthy. And there's so much we can say. We should never run short on words. Let's go brag about our God. Well, I hope that'll encourage you this week, and we hope you'll come back and join us for the next Crosspoint Devotion.